How's it going, everybody? It's Jazzy Video Store Sasquatch here, and we're gonna do another Throwback Thursday reimagining. We're gonna go ahead and call it. We have Payback from 1999. It was directed by Brian Helgeland. I'll give you the cast here as we get the new right before we get the new cast, just so you can kind of see it better. Plus, there's a couple of things we're gonna talk about quick before we get to like the movie and everything. I had a lot of fun doing this last week. I really thought about it this week about how to do it and how we're going to get it right and how we're going to keep doing these like little reimagining things. First, we're going to want the cast as realistic as possible for these movies. Like maybe if we have like a bigger A-lister movie, of course we're going to get the Chris Evans, the Downey Juniors, Elizabeth Olsen, Tom Holland, just the big stars that we think of for A-listers. But right now we're just going to kind of get like where we're at here, where we're at the second tier of the A-listers, where it's guys that are kind of believable in movies that you can get character workers, especially for a lot of these movies, because it's not going to be, like I said, like a big A-list movie, a big budget movie. This one will be a little bit higher budget. Like this could even be a streamer special, so we will get a lot more recognizable names as we go here. And let's not call it a remake here. That's the second thing. Let's call it like a reimagining. Let's just say these movies never existed, and this is how they'd be done today. And third, we want the actors to be working steadily. We don't want to like go back and be like, hey, we could put Marlon Brando in this role and it'd work and stuff like that. Like we might do that like special like little circumstances for certain movies, or maybe take like a new movie and like throw it back for old actors or something like that. That'd be something I just kind of thought of that we could do. But for these, we're gonna make sure they're working the last couple of years, that they're around, they're semi-popular, like just people that we all know. So, in saying all this, we went with a 1999 movie here. It's called Payback. Mel Gibson's the star of it. It has a 7.1 rating on IMDb, so it's pretty good. It's sleek, stylish. It's a revenge title. Porter helps Val Resnick take down some local thugs, and is betrayed by Val here and killed, as Val thinks, but we end up finding out he's not killed, and now he wants his payback, and he wants $70,000 from the score. The original cast will be replacing real quick is Porter, played by Mel Gibson, Val, Greg Henry, Rosie, Maria Bello, Mrs. Porter, Deborah Kara Unger, Stegman, David Paymer, Pearl, Lucy Liu, Mr. Carter, William Devane, Fairfax, James Coburn, Detective Hicks, Bill Duke, and Detective Leary, Jack Conley. So this movie is based in New York here in this iteration of it. It's based on a story, The Hunter. I haven't read the novel, but that's what it's based on. So we're actually doing a movie based on a book, so we probably should go to the original source material of the book to see what's real and what's not. But since we're adapting everything anyways, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go by the movie here. Um, we're going to move it from New York to the Big Easy. The reason why it's in New York probably in the 90s is more every film was either it was either in New York or Los Angeles at that time. Nowadays we have tax credits, we have stuff like this that can help us and move it to a different place, and I think that New Orleans would be like a beautiful spot for it. And it does have the film tax credit. It has historic sites we could use, just like New York. And the actors we're going to be playing would do well with like accents and have more like character driven from the South, charm and colors and stuff like this is where that movie's a little bit more gray. We just want to do that because we just want to pop everything out. We're gonna make everything a little bit more action, a little faster pace probably, and just the jokes a little darker. Everything's gonna kind of come off just the same way as the movie, but it's gonna have a lot of different changes because there was nothing wrong with the original movie here, but we just want to do this to kind of make it our own and kind of get it into our own direction here. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna show him messing with the wife's heel, so then that it allows us to believe that he is the reason why she got the hot dose and died. So that way he gives her a choice there, because he does take away her original drugs here, and when he does that, he pretty much does no more drugs. So it gives her the choice there. And we have to remember that this dude's out for payback. He's not just out for payback from Val Resnick. His wife also is part of the reason why all this happens. So we want him to be vindictive, cunning, and this would just show it all to be like, oh, well, he thought ahead to even put the bad drugs in her heel to give her a choice. And plus, I think that's something that Mel Gibson didn't really want on his character. Just say 1999, it's not really like very popular. It's where today we can almost more accept it or more understand the thought process behind all this. And then with all of that, and that's the one thing. And it leaves a lot more after death of the detectives and stuff like that. If he hot dosed her, and then he could probably instead of like he set up the detectives like he did with the hot dose stuff like that. So it just leads up to more. And two, um, he kills Val while going after the syndicate outfit at the end instead of right in the middle or right kind of before he goes after the outfit or the syndicate. We're gonna have Val play a little bit more cowardly character and kind of come back into the syndicate here and have the syndicate save him, just so we can have more of a powerful shootout at the end, a longer sequence. We're gonna rob the new bad boys here. We're gonna show that video at the end of the guns. We're gonna do crazy stuff like that. And then also, instead of splitting it apart, maybe make it just all one take. So it just all looks like one huge flow take. It would just be a good crisp action sequence to add to the style that the original movie had. Just to add another style to this. So that's just what we'll do here. So that's why we do this. We'd probably have Porter, the dog Porter, who is Rosie's dog, actually save her instead of having Porter come in and shoot him and stuff like this. So then that way Rosie can still come at the end and save the day for him for the most part, or at least get him out of the spot at where he's at. So that's how we kind of do that to kind of keep her away from him. We wouldn't really want the kidnapping trope because I thought about that too, but I was like, man, just so many people do that. It'd be more fresh if she got away, and then we also still found a way to help him at the end. And that's kind of that was her character when we go into like the cast and stuff like that. You understand why that's kind of like a smart. She kind of has to be like a like a whatever. And at the end of the shootout, I mean, we are in New Orleans instead of New York, so instead of like going up a building, we go into through a graveyard maybe or a plantation, just something different that would look really cool, and then we could go with one take through, be quick, not have like 100 guys, but have 15 good kills or shoots outs or fights along the way up to the top to get to that ending dialogue with the with Fairfax and Mr. Carter and them, and then you'd even keep the female on the phone. I don't know who played her. Just give maybe one of the people that's already in the movie a little part there. Um, so with all this being said, I think these are the three directors that we kind of get this look and the style that we kind of want. One is McG, Babysitters, Charlie's Angels, stuff like that. I believe he came from um, the old MTV videos, so I think he would be good here. He would modernize everything. He'd give good angles. He could do the action sequences right, and he'd keep the older tropes, but he'd have the modernization of the older tropes, like I said. So that's why I can modernize it. I think McG would be perfect. John Woo, I know it's kind of like way off from McG, but if we were gonna go way off from McG, we'd get him, and he'd have the style, the action sequences down. I think he'd even enjoy the cast that we kind of put together here. I think this guy would work. John Woo, of course, would work because he gives a soundtrack as well. He's just a master of action. I mean, he might be too big to get that, so that'd be a push. And this guy would definitely be too big, but it'd be a grab to get him as James Gunn. I mean, he'd be the soundtrack, the action sequences, he'd keep it stylish. And he'd have a good look and feel to it at the zone, which is kind of like what you're kind of looking for here because we're going to have colors with the French quarters. And we're going to have, you know what I mean? Instead of just black and gray like it was in the New York background, we're going to have a lot of that. So those would be my three guys. You probably know with like McG, just 'cause I think James Gunn and John Woo would be too big unless like James Gunn was like had a passion project and this was his passion project, or just same with like John Woo. You might be able to get John Woo into it just to be like, dude, man, you made this really super cool. Do whatever you want to do. We'll give you all free range to do it. Just do what you got to do to make it good. You might be able to get him, but I bet we'd end up with McG. I'm gonna put those three names out there. So here we go. For the cast here, We're gonna start with Porter, of course, and we're gonna start with Ben Foster as Porter. We want an actor to play this role. We don't want to go get an action star. We want an actor who can play this role because he has to have a little bit of comedic chop to it. He has to have a little grittiness to him, but he also has to be able to full range act here because he has to show at some points and times, even when Mel Gibson did a good job at it, that he is a little still PTSD'd about what happened to him. And with the loud noises and stuff like this, you see that with Mel Gibson. And then when we're going through New Orleans, maybe even make it around Mardi Gras time, so we get the loud noises, the huge crowds, and we can kind of show it to him. And that can kind of be his one little weakness of a good character that's supposed to be strong and stoic. Um, Val Resnick here, I believe, would be Giovanni Ribisi. I believe he would be a great actor. We kind of flipped him because normally we'd see Giovanni Ribisi as a good guy, and we'd see Ben Foster as a bad guy here. So we're gonna kind of flip him here and make Giovanni Ribisi the bad guy, Ben Foster the good guy. I think he could add a little cowardice to it that not a lot of people could do, but also still be tough at the same time. But when you compare it to the stoic nature of Ben, like I think they just play well on them. They'd have a very good chemistry, I believe, because they're two very good actors, and they would just play off each other the scene that they'd have to play together. Mrs. Porter here would be Kristen Ritter, great actress. We know she can play the druggy arc because of Breaking Bad, and she's gonna have the hot dose herself too. Breaking Bad, so at least she gets a little death scene. And she's gonna be out throughout the movie. So this could be a little role for her that'd be like perfect. And then Rosie would be Moreno Baccarin. She is from Deadpool. She is this. I'm about to say a lot of mean stuff, but it's actually very good for this character. So kind of sorry. Like she's a great woman, I'm pretty sure, but um, she would be a good older prostitute who kind of knows how to keep her business to herself, and this is why she's successful as a prostitute. And she has a confidence to pull off what we need from that, but also vulnerability there that she's going to get attacked by Val. She's also going to be in love with Porter, and Porter is not going to be exactly in love with her. As a matter of fact, the reason why Porter can't even find a way that he's in love with her is because she's a whore. But so there's a lot of complexity to this, and she can bring all that to it just with a couple of looks. And she kind of looks like Kristen Ritter, which kind of helps because in the original movie, the two actresses kind of look really alike, especially when you're watching the movie. So that kind of brings it all together there. Um, Stegman would be Donald Glover. He's a way funny guy, but the main reason I want him is because he can be serious and still be a little intimidating to people, and but at the same time have just a comedic chop to him that's funny. Like a little like because he has to be a little cowardice to Porter because he has to be afraid of Porter, but he doesn't have to be so freaking of a coward because he still does run the detectives. He still does run his own little crew, and he wants to be part of the syndicate. So he has to be sharp. He has to be like a kind of funny guy to kind of be where he's at. So I think that Donald Glover could really do this. So that's where I'm at there. Detective Hicks would be Aldous Hodge. If you ever seen Leverage, this is the computer guy. This guy is 6'2", 6'3". So one, he would be taller than everyone, and he would be bigger than everybody as well. Uh, Besides the co-star, that's going to be Detective Leary here. So he's going to have the height and size, intimidation, which is perfect for this character. But he's also going to have a humor that we want because we want this like little subtle humor throughout the movie that even the original Detective Hicks had. So I think Aldous Hodge can do this perfect. You just got to watch some of the stuff he does. Detective Leary, the same exact reasons why I picked Aldous Hodge is the same reason why I'm picking Scott McCarthy here, except that he's white and then Aldous Hodge is African American. And it's perfect because the original Detective Hicks is African American and the other Leary is white. So we get this together here, and they're both like they're both the same people. They both play a serious role. They both can have a comedic humor to them, and they're both big and intimidating looking guys. So it's just perfect there. And then Pearl here, I really went way out of the left field here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I couldn't really think of like actress. So Mercedes Monet from AEW, Sasha Banks from WWE, whatever you want to call her. She's in the Star Wars shows already, so she shows that she can act. And the reason why I would do this is because this is a dominatrix part here, and you could really believe her beating up these people, and it'd be a good role for her. And she has her own like little goon squad that she has in the movie that kind of goes after Porter. and then you get some of the wrestlers to help her with the Goon Squad here. I think it'd work out perfect. Um, you could even have her bright colored hairs that she has, and still have like this little skimpy outfits that she wears in the wrestling, and it still be believable. You know what I mean? So, I think this is kind of where it would be like for her, just a little role as well. I mean, there's not much more to that. Mr. Carter is Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. Gus, he has a frankness of being very scary while being very nice, and that'll just pop off here for the syndicate when they're like telling Porter, when they're actually telling Val to kind of go fuck himself. That's another good spot here for him. And he would have a coldness and a frankness to him. It would be perfect here. Fairfax is Don Johnson. This is just my fun one. Um, this is because you kind of seen him in the Southern little guys Django. We would actually have him racist, but kind of have him like a Southern dandy, like even Fairfax was, like where he gets offended that the guy shot his suits and stuff like that. And I think Don Johnson would just play this off the wall character perfectly. We put the little the little thing he had in Django on him. The little mustache and the little soul patch there worked perfectly. And he would just put him in like a southern dandy, give him a little southern accent, and just tell him, "Hey, be offended with whatever this guy says, and be as over the top as you can be." And it would just again add to the humor of it while keeping the integrity and everything of that of this movie. And I think that this would be a good cast here. If you wanted to flip, like I said earlier, Porter and Val and make Giovanni Ribisi the main character and Ben Foster, Val, I think that would work too. But this is just my way of doing it. And I think the opposite there would actually really affect it, like I said. And if you have any comments, please let me know in the comment section. Have a good rest of your day or night. And please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.